to bandits, kidnappers, and sponsors of terror, surrender or face the full force of the Nigerian state.
President Tinubu's June 12 speech sounded tough, but many Nigerians may be asking a simple question. Why are bandits and kidnappers being offered a chance to surrender in the first place? For years, innocent Nigerians have been killed, kidnapped, displaced from their homes, and forced to pay ransom. Families have lost loved ones, communities have been destroyed, and businesses have collapsed because of insecurity. So, when the president says surrender or face the full force of the Nigerian state,
Surrender or face the full force.
some Nigerians may wonder whether that full force should have arrived long ago. Another controversial part is the idea of a surrender window.
Windows of surrender will not remain open forever.
Critics could argue that offering criminals another opportunity to surrender sends the wrong message to victims who have suffered the consequences of these crimes. On the other hand, supporters will say that if surrendering leads to fewer attacks and saves lives, then it is a practical option. The strongest line of the speech was undoubtedly, "No mercy will be shown to those who tread in the blood of Nigerians."
No mercy will be shown to those who trade in blood of Nigerians.
It is a powerful statement, but in today's Nigeria, many citizens are no longer interested in powerful statements. They want results. They want safer roads. They want farmers back on their lands. They want children to go to school without fear. The real test is not what was said on June 12th. The real test is what happens after June 12th. If insecurity stops, Nigerians will applaud the president. If attacks continue, many will see this speech as another tough talking promise in a country that has heard too many of them. The question is simple. Should terrorists and bandits be given a chance to surrender? Or should the government stop talking and crush them completely?
Over 13,000 terrorists have been neutralized in the past year. But we also keep the door of surrender open. Over 124,000 fighters and dependents have laid down arms since 2023. Through Operation Safe Corridor, we turn our former enemies into citizens because every life saved is a victory for democracy. To bandits, kidnappers, and sponsors of terror, surrender or face the full force of the Nigerian state. These windows of surrender will not remain open forever. No mercy will be shown to those who trade in blood of Nigerians. At a time like this, let us not assign blames or point fingers. Crime has no ethnicity. We must stand united and be assured that the enemies of our nation shall soon be history. We will triumph over terror and continue to build a more prosperous nation. June 12 occupies a sacred place in our national memory. It represents more than an election. It is a defining chapter in our history. We remember Chief MKO Abiola, who won a pan-Nigerian mandate transcending ethnicity and religion. We remember Alhaja Kudirat Abiola. We also remember Chief Ganifa Emi, Chief Bola Ige, Chief Alfred Rwani, and Pa Abraham Adesoya, Chief Anthony Enahoro, Alhaji Balarabe Musa, Commodore Dan Suleiman, Beko Ransom Kuti, Franco Kori, Arthur Nwanko, Chima Obani, Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, and the many other heroes and heroines of democracy whose sacrifices helped secure the freedom we enjoy today. As beneficiaries of their struggle, we have a duty to strengthen and deepen the democratic institutions for which they fought. The greatest tribute we can pay is to build a Nigeria where freedom is protected, justice is upheld, opportunity is expanded, and government is accountable. June 12, 1993, revealed the possibility of a true Nigerian nation. The heroes of June 12 secured political freedom. Our challenge is to secure economic freedom. Democracy must be felt in the quality of people's lives, in opportunities for youth, in prosperous farmers, successful entrepreneurs, and the dignity of our workers. The reforms we are undertaking were not chosen for ease, but for necessity. 3 years ago, our public finances were under severe strain. Investment was discouraged, and economic uncertainty threatened our future. We chose to act, embracing reforms to advance Nigerians' economic freedom. Since 2023, our reforms have restored stability and credibility to economic management. Federation revenues have risen, providing state and local governments with more resources for infrastructure, education, health care, and security. Fiscal transparency has improved. Leakage has been reduced, and public funds are better directed to national priorities. Investors' confidence has returned, with investment in agriculture, energy, manufacturing, technology, mining, transportation, and the creative industries growing. Domestic refinery capacity has increased, strengthening energy security and reducing our reliance on imported petroleum products. By 2023, when we came on board, the electricity sector was characterized by chronic generation shortfalls and unreliable gas supply and transmission infrastructure, so fragile that they could not evacuate available power. Distribution companies were burdened by massive losses and a metering deficit of over 4 million. Worst of all, the value chain was drowning in legacy debt. The result was a sector that generated less than 13,500 megawatts installed capacity, a sector that transmitted less than it generated, distributed less than it transmitted, and collected revenue far below what it needed to sustain itself.